Yeah, I'm letting people in, okay?
Oh, there's way more people that I could see. Hello everyone, my name is Akshat. I am the founder of Tera Day. Tera Day is actually a mental health initiative. So welcome to our first talk today. Thanks everyone for coming. And today we have two chief guests with us. Firstly, we have Professor Stephen King. And hello sir, how are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you very much. And I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation. Looking forward to the chat.
I'd like to start asking Steve, how is teaching different for you?
So there are obviously a lot of differences between when you're in a classroom with people to when you're having to do things online. And in the initial phases, it was obviously a challenge. Unfortunately, we've had good support behind us. And I felt that I've been very, very supported to make sure that I've looked competent in my classes that I've taught. We're doing more training on how to teach in this format, preparing for next year. Because there are elements of this which will continue.
We ran this Majlis platform, which is basically like a platform where you can sit, switch on your camera, do your own, do your own work. You have a productive group to be around people. One incident that I noticed was there's a feature on Zoom called virtual background.
Yes.
So I can take a picture of myself looking at the screen and then switch on that as a virtual background. So everybody else thinks that I'm paying attention.
I heard that there is some sort of filter, so you can turn yourself into like a Snapchat filter from one of these platforms, and that someone had turned on the potato filter and couldn't turn it off. So I'm really looking to do that, so I can have so I can lecture as something different every time next time.
Let's say the semester still went on. A lot of universities told students that, hey, your assignments and your everything needs to be done as it is within due time. What are your thoughts on students having to submit their final assignments during this quarantine period?
Life doesn't owe you anything, Akshat. Okay? So you take a little delay today, it does you no good. You have to move forward. Everything still has to keep going forward. There's two things there. The universities do not want, our university does not want to penalize anyone. We totally understand what's going on and the pressures that everyone's under. We don't want the students feeling the anxiety, because it's the anxiety and fear which is perhaps more damaging than COVID, especially once you're locked in. And so we have done that to allow people to go forward. However, I have tried and pushed the students to submit time, because I think, as many of you will agree, you like to procrastinate. And if you get given an extension of 2 days, you will take 3, right? And so, the quality, and being in the creative industry, we realized that tight deadlines creates better work.
Yeah, one thing that I find really beautiful that you mentioned is that life doesn't stop for anyone. We're still working, we're adapting virtually, and even though we as a startup, we're making progress, right? And I personally believe that no progress is small or big, as long as you're taking a step forward and as long as you're moving. That's progress, right? There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of chaos in the job market, and I would want to ask you, what do you think about the 2020 class graduating, and what advice would you give them?
So this isn't the first time that we've gone through this situation. That's the first thing. I was thinking this morning, we had in 1999 or 2000, I had just started work, and in 2001, we started to hit the dot-com crash just after the millennium bug. None of you perhaps remember that. That was an enormous thing. And I was probably just at your age, and all my friends were being made redundant. How could you be made redundant at 22? It was a very depressing situation. It's probably exactly as you're feeling right now. These situations happen all the time, and they always get better. What do you need to do right now? What is your mission in your house, with your family, and with your friends right now? Then that is what you should be doing. And secondly, get busy. Right? Do not listen to the negative people who say there's nothing to do. There's no way to make money. There are virtual internships, which I know you might think immediately, if you look at this with a glass half full attitude, Like, I don't want a virtual internship at a company around the corner. I want to be in their office. Think of it differently. There are virtual internships at companies around the world. Because of the internet and this virtual internship program, you need to broaden your scope. Apply to the UK, apply to the US. Now is your opportunity to find these, because the companies aren't caring, where you are. They have no idea. As long as you can operate a computer and know how to be professional and communicate, it's not that your opportunities have been reduced. Your opportunities have been exploded. You don't have to climb Everest. Jebel Hafid is just good enough.
Quick example of what Steve has just mentioned. I'm sitting in Toronto right now. It is 1:45 p.m. and I am still running the session in the UAE, which means there's hope for all of you. Thanks a lot, Steve. Thanks a lot for talking to us and motivating all of us. It was great talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Steve. It was a great session. Thanks everyone for attending this session. This was brought to you by Tera Day, so you can check us out on Instagram. And we had some great talk. We had some great messages here. And yeah, thanks for coming. Thank you, everyone.